Hello, hello. It says going live, but I'm probably already live. So, yeah. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday night. Happy Bandcamp Friday. Hope you're well. Beard Guy, Sean Heath, Uni, Marauder, RoadBull, Anthony, Bagga Schmidt, Rose, stoked. The crew is in the house. Good to see you all. Wow, that was hard to say. Good to see you all. We are streaming from my new studio, which looks an awful lot like the old studio, actually. There's a door back there that goes into like a place where I keep, camera accessories and stuff like that. But yeah, it's remarkably similar. Hope y'all are really good. What do we got in the comments here? Sean Heath says, wild first time I've actually been able to use the 30-minute notice for any live stream. I hope everybody's doing well because it's been a long time. Oh, man. Hope you're doing well, Mr. Sean Heath, over there in that wild Germany. From what I understand, things are a little rocky over in Europe. So I hope all is well with you and yours. But we have a pretty action-packed stream today. So it's going to be very similar to last month's event. In last month's event, for those of you who weren't there, it was pretty chock full. I think it was either the same amount of bands or same amount of music, or maybe one less. So we're going to get to it pretty quick. Where is this thing here? I'm just looking for one little bit here before we really dive in. No, that's not it. Why can't I find it when I need it? Just find it looking for Bandcamp Social, RSVP, blah, 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 aim to right, high bot. Okay. I believe this is it. Yeah. Okay. So, all right, we can switch screens here. I got a little bit of a different setup, actually a lot of a different setup. It's completely different than the last bunch of live streams. But this here, I was at this event yesterday. Speaking of Bandcamp, it's Bandcamp Friday. So on Thursday, yesterday, it was this one right here. Can you see that? Oh, my mouse won't show. Oh, it does show. Great. So this one here, Toronto event. It was the Bandcamp Social in Toronto. And essentially what happened was a bunch of people from Bandcamp offices or Bandcamp teams across the United States, they kind of got together and went on a tour to present, to make a case for Bandcamp and really be able to answer questions and dive into a lot of the new features and whatnot. Basically spread the word, spread the love. And at the end of the workshops was, free for all with a bunch of beer and food. The food was like super high end. It was like pizzas and stuff like that, but it was like the highest end stuff I've ever seen for that kind of event and those kinds of foods. It was weird, but it was really cool. This guy, Andrew, who's sort of the top sort of label representative over at Bandcamp. He handles the label end of things. He was very gracious, very helpful, very cool. Got to talk to him for a long time. But I believe that was the final event. Yeah, Toronto was the final event yesterday. But I have a feeling that they're going to be doing more of these, that these were a success. They did these 4, one in Philly, New York, Boston, and Toronto. And the Philly and New York events were apparently really good. The Boston was a little more chill, and the Toronto event was really good. One thing that was interesting about this event, we'll switch cameras here. Here we go. New system. One thing that was interesting about this event, and I think it's worth kind of talking about for all of us who are trying to do things. We're all, artists, and we're trying to make it all work. Something I noticed with the event that was interesting was very few people showed up to the workshops. it was a very underattended workshop series. And they went over a bunch of features on Bandcamp and a bunch of new things and a bunch of ways how to go about it, and shared a bunch of things from the perspective of knowing what works. Like they see all the things that work really well. So they share kind of tips and whatnot based on that. And there was a bunch of workshops about these things. Very few people showed up to the workshops, and tons of people showed up for the free beer and food. And I found that kind of interesting. You know, what I know about most music people that I've met is most people aren't very good at doing very much stuff when it comes to promoting themselves, when it comes to getting their stuff out there, leveraging technology for time, you know, using technology more to kind of get more done, or using services like on-demand type services and whatnot. Like there's all these hacks, and they covered a bunch of this sort of stuff. And there was very few people there to, you know, reap the rewards. Maybe that's good. Maybe it means fewer people will actually be playing the game, and, you know, it'll be easier for those people. I don't know. Like it was weird. I was hoping to kind of meet and mingle with more people who want to know things and want to do things, like really want to do things. And there was very few. I met some great people though. Let's be real. But anyhow, Bandcamp Social, or Bandcamp, yeah, Bandcamp Social. If it, I'll go back to the little thumbnail here. Why is there a red line? Oh, I know why there's a red line. Never mind. But I have a feeling they're going to be doing more of these around the world, because Bandcamp is expanding around the world. If you are tuning in from a different country other than Canada, United States, you know, Western Europe, you know, developed Western Europe, you know, you probably already have a pretty good range of options when it comes to using Bandcamp and other services, especially things like payment processors and whatnot. But if you live in a place where some of those things are complicated, like from what I understand, payment processing in South America in certain countries is very complicated, and perhaps other places in Asia and whatnot. What is happening with Bandcamp, one of the things I learned at the Bandcamp Social was Bandcamp is getting ready to deploy a whole new range of options in terms of payment processing, so that more people around the world can take advantage of what Bandcamp has to offer, as well as they're going to be rolling out Bandcamp in every language, which is crazy. And this is part of the whole Rockstar Games, or Epic Games, Epic Games, sorry, Epic. This is part of what Epic Games is able to bring to the Bandcamp organization. And I also learned that Epic has no interest in reinventing Bandcamp. They love the model, and all they want to do is expand on how good it already works. So, you know, that's the kind of the chatter from within at the moment. You never really know what the real word is, but they were quite enthusiastic to share those details. So if you're worried about Epic Games in any way, that's some good news. Anyhow, we're going to get into it here. I'm going to go back to my camera. I'm going to go back to the comments really shortly here and just make sure that everything's working with my stuff. And whoa, yeah, we're getting right into it here. What time is it? 8:09. Okay. So today's very first thing here is Deceive, Defeat, Delete. And this comes to us from Craig Argyle. And Craig Argyle has been sort of, you know, jamming around in the various aspects of the communities for a little while now. I heard my first track by them, or by him, or by, yeah, I don't know. I'll just say them for everyone. It's the easiest way to do it. But I listened to my first track by Craig back in the summer, I believe. It was probably early summer, and it was pretty kick-ass. And I think we played it on one of the Bandcamp Fridays. But we're just going to rock the very first jam here. And, Norwich, UK, represent some dissonant hardcore for you. Check it out. That was crushing. You might be able to still hear it in my headphones. Tasteful Fades. For those of you who haven't joined us in a while and may forget, or maybe are first-time listeners, first-time viewers, we only check out a clip, about a minute-ish. Sometimes I get carried away listening. I almost got carried away listening with this one. I love music. So yeah, and especially this track, Craig. That's very satisfying. There's, you got something tasty in there, this is a world that's really hard to this is a world that's really hard to fit into perfectly without sounding like everyone else, and it's extremely a hard world to fit into and stand out and be unique. And I think you're doing that. I'm not extremely up to date in terms of, this sort of really heavy, extra heavy, hardcore type of sound. But I think I know enough about it to say that, yeah, I think you got something fresh going on. And that might be the fact that you're doing it, totally solo. And there's that freedom of totally solo to explore every possible idea that sometimes you don't get in a band. A lot of times in bands, a lot of ideas get smashed before anyone tries anything. So I'm not complaining about being in bands. I'm just talking about some of the differences in creative freedoms and creative luxury that you might experience as a solo creator. And that goes into the next little bit is, if you are new or forget, this show really kind of focuses on solo creators from around the world. And it doesn't have to be heavy stuff. We see a lot more heavy stuff. I make heavy stuff, and I guess we have a preference for it in that way, but it doesn't have to be heavy. It could be total dream pop, total ambient, whatever. If you're new here and you'd like to participate and you're like, oh man, this is a fun event or a fun stream. It is a fun stream, and share your tracks. We have a lot to get through tonight though, so I'm going to get going. So that was, Deceive, Defeat, Delete. I dropped the link into the chat. I'm going to try and ram through this so that I can spend a little bit more time in the chat at the end. But we're going to go on to our next Jammaroony here. I don't know, is a Jammaroony a thing? I think you know what I'm talking about. And this here comes to us from our bud, JOYBURN. This is Geo, and Geo's coming to us from Florida, United States. And kind of a staple on the show these days, and really working hard, really working hard at the composition, really working hard at the production. Heavy. This is going to be heavy as well. Have I reset my gain? I have. So we're going to get into it. This is Vomito Vidrio. Am I saying it right? You can shut me down here. Vomito Vidrio. But this is by JOYBURN. Check it out. Carried away here. So, Geo, I'm just like, what's going to happen next? What's the next part? What's happening right now? I was getting a little too much into it, which is probably a good thing. I dropped the link into the chat. I'm always stoked on what you're doing. Geo, excellent work, very excellent work, great production, great playing, great composition. Some familiar textures done in a new way, and heavy as balls. And really appreciate all of the lighter elements as well, even though they're still very heavy, and like the weight of the mood is still very heavy. But that was super nice. And let's go back to the big camera. Reset the gain. Synth Chris, I see your message there that you sent me a link. I'm going to grab that right now, and I'm going to, I guess I'm going to chat a little bit here. Where did you send me the link? Oh, great. You sent it to me in Discord. That actually makes it a little bit easier in this case. Yes. Great. I got it, Chris. Thank you. And back to the chat. Like I say, I'm going to go back through the chat a little bit. We're going to move on because we got a lot. We got the most tracks ever for a Bandcamp Friday, which is always awesome. This next track comes to us from another staple pal, El Paul. El Paul is a little bit of a hero around these parts as well. And for some of you, probably needs no introduction. This is actually an older track by El Paul that we never really got to play, and we've never shared here before. And what's interesting about artists that maybe people know about or whatever, they find an artist on a specific track, and they're like, "Oh, this is awesome." And a lot of times, people don't kind of go back through the catalog and be like, "What else have they done that might be awesome?" So we're going to do that today. And here we go. This is Fire at the Gates by False God, the artist El Paul. Cool. Very interesting. realized only now that I've never gone back on this catalog, and very interesting to hear your progression and where you sit now. Very interesting. Definitely a little bit more of a sort of punk energy to the earlier stuff, which is cool. I don't know if that's something that's by design, but I really dig it, L. Paul. Not sure if you're with us today in the old chat. Does not look like, but that's okay. The others can enjoy. Yeah, I definitely recommend going through L. Paul's total catalog and kind of checking out the spectrum of material that he has come up with. Very cool. Anyhow, so reset the gain, go back to the big camera. I like how I call it big camera, small camera. I don't know really what that means. Like, it's all just camera, but 7.5 or minus 7.5. That seems to be our gain zone. So this next little jam that we're going to be getting into, what time is it? 8:21. Am I going too fast? I might be going too fast. No, we're at the halfway mark. So, and it's almost 8:30. So I think we're right on schedule. Anyway, this next track comes to us from another member of the community who has been around for a long time, but has never shared any material. And so I'm excited for a world premiere here. And this is some material by RoadBull. And RoadBull is in the old chat. So if you're stoked, you can drop some praise in there. But this is the first demo track by RoadBull. I'm really stoked. Here we go. Nice and sludgy. I should add, nice and sludgy, and it's not stereotypical of like what you typically hear in sludge at all. It's very much your own sound, which is very nice to hear. Excellent work, RoadBull. And I'd love to know if you could share in the chat there. I put the link in there. If you could share with me just the info, like this is track 3, it says. So what does that mean? Is that 3 of 5, 3 of 10? Like, what do you got planned? What's going on with this release? A little bit of mystery happening here with this 003 business. So please do share. And yeah, excellent work. Stoked to hear more of that. And link is in the description. Once again, for those of you who are joining us this might be your first time on this stream, we listen to clips. It's up to you to click through to the link and explore the artist further. It is Bandcamp Friday. Any music that you purchase today, the entire profits go to, like the entire payment goes to the artist, besides the PayPal cut, which is 0.3% or something like that. Tiny amount. Maybe it's more than that, but yeah, it's no big deal. So yeah, highly suggest, whatchamacallit, support if you feel so inclined, if you have a deeper wallet than usual. I've had very shallow wallets these days for the last like 6 months. Ever since I had COVID, it's just been downhill. But, digging out of that hole. But we're going to move along here because it is 8:25, and I'd rather have extra time at the end to hang out in the chat than to race right up to the last minute. So I've got to cue up the gain here again. There we go. And this next one comes to us again from another member of the community, and you know, a very eccentric writer that covers a lot of ground, you know, explores a lot of terrain, wide spectrum of sounds, material, skills, you know. So pretty stoked for this one. This is coming to us from Kazuki Hiratani, and the tune is called, or I guess the project is called Nekravol and Somniferous. Cool words and names and artwork, and yeah. Let's get into it. I was already listening to it. Necravol. Kazuki, all I have to say is I'm glad that you got off your butt and started making music, because the progress is very quick, and the material is great, man. So yeah, super stoked for more. Nice track. It's like kind of your own sound, which I very much appreciate. Yeah, cool. The tune is the link is in the chat. So for those of you who dig that and want to explore more, it's in there. And this profile, Nekravol, I don't understand here. Let me explore this more. Okay, so you've changed the name, or has it always been Nekravol and I just didn't notice? Explain it to me, Kazuki. It's a mystery. It's a cool mystery, and I want to know more. But yeah, nice material. Very nice material. Excited for more. Please make more. And yeah, the way that you're making music right now, it's perfect. You don't need to wait for anything. You don't need a drummer. You don't need anything. Just keep making music. If a drummer comes and all that kind of stuff, cool. Awesome. Like, get into it. But like, don't wait for it, because this is great. I know that you were like, thinking that for a long time, but clearly not needed. not even remotely. So, bam. We are really ripping through it here today. Actually, we're ripping through it so good that I'm going to hang out in the chat just a little bit here and just see what's going on. So bear with me for a moment. And anyone that I've missed in here that is just joining us now. No, it's not the regular cast and crew, but the cool cats and kittens. What's this? Pretty sick. Had a nice False God debut. Yes. And love the swampiness of the drums. Yes. And was my cover song not allowed? Bag of Schmidt. Don't know. Did you drop the link on whatchamacallit? Discord, or did you email it to me? Maybe if you emailed it to me for some reason it didn't go to my inbox. Let me take a look here. Rose, is this new? Let me see. What do we got? I don't know where I'm at. Cradle. Okay, Rose, I think you got some tracks in there too. What is going on? When did I miss things? Bag of Schmidt. Metal cover remix. Okay, Bag of Schmidt. We got it. We can definitely get it in there. We got time. I'm crushing this stream right now. So we're gonna is this, wait a minute. Is it a YouTube? It's a YouTube. Bag of Schmidt. This is Bandcamp Friday. We need Bandcamp links. Yeah, maybe we will check that at the very end, but yes. We need Bandcamp links. Kazuki. In fact, it actually inspired me to do my own ambient jam. Kazuki's got an ambient jam as well. Maybe we'll put that in there. Yes. And is that a different one? No. Okay. You do have two profiles. Kazuki. You tricky dog, you. And Rose has... Yeah, I was asking for links to in email because, yeah, across all the Discords and all that kind of stuff, I was missing the... Oh, is this another one? Sorry, guys. I'm just... okay, that's good. Ba, 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 ba. And there we go. All right, we're going to jam in here. And bam. Yeah, queuing up. So we're queued up. We're going. Did I drop that link in there? RoadBull, Kazuki. Yes, we got it. Awesome. No, I did Bandcamp first. Hold up. Okay. Get it at me. We're going to listen to a track right now. And Kazuki saying official releases, EPs, and albums will be on the Necravol Bandcamp page. Okay, right. In your demos, you're doing something similar to myself, which is I think a great way to go about it. It's a little, you got to kind of like not train, but like people need to kind of catch on to it. But I think it's smart because it allows you a lot more sort of freedom to explore demos, and then once the demos are done, you can do like official releases on the official artist site. But enough of that. And we're going to go to desktop right. And we've got Buried in Chains demo by Kill the Witchfinder. This is Jack Allen's track. He's been, hovering around the community for a while now, since I guess beginning of summer. And we've checked out a few tracks by Kill the Witchfinder. Anyhow, this one is called Maniacal Necrophilia. It's a party name. I like it a lot. And we're just going to play the first track. And Jack is from California. Yeah, California. So here we go. Buried in Chains demo track. I feel like I chose a track that is not a full representation of the project.
The needle-sharp pipes ridicule the dusty skeleton. The police see it as public outrage. Maniacal necrophilia.
Longer intro, really kind of, messes with the 1 minute sampling of tracks. Oh, excuse me. But Bird in Chains demo, a little different than what I'm familiar with than from Kill the Witchfinder. A little bit more of like that raw punk energy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with things like Tragedy or His Hero Is Gone. Doesn't sound like those bands, but it has kind of that like really heavy, dark punk thing going on. Not really so metal, which I'm a fan of personally. But that was cool. I'm curious to hear what the plan is for this. It's a 5-song demo. Is it going to be redone, as part of a bigger release, or are you going to redo it for vinyl or something like that? Kill the Witchfinder's second demo. Maybe you're going to put everything together, like the 2 demos together as one full length. Yeah, I'd love to know what your plans are. It's cool material, and it's got that gnarly aggression that is so nice. Going to the big camera here, resetting our gain. Did I drop the link in there? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Great. Beard guy is like, just a sec, give it a sec. Yeah, I'm like on the clock, We got a schedule to keep, guys. Lamond is joining us. Welcome. 13 Flaws is with us. Welcome. Good to see you cats here. And so what do we got piling up here next? Am I missing? I'm kind of missing one here. No, I'm not. I'm not missing one at all. It's right there. Cool. And that's going to be the next one. Actually, really good timing, Lamond, because this is Maladaptive from Maladaptive Daydreams by Flynn. Flynn's Ego on the Instagram. Lamond Sutherland on the official Bandcamp internet, Scotland, UK native. This is going to be the first that I actually discover of your material on Bandcamp. Lamond, I am aware of your musical dabblings and offerings on the Instagram, but this is going to be my first time to your Bandcamp, and pretty stoked. I didn't know you had one, and I'm glad that you shared it with us. So let's get into it. Gain is reset, and this is Maladaptive. I'm saying that right? Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Very cool, Lamond. I'm hearing like all of the things that I've come to know about you from following you on Instagram. Like you're interested in jazz and just a lot of music, and you've wrapped it up really nice into your own thing. Like, it's cool, man. It's really cool. And Lamond is also a bit of an illustrator, interest in fine arts, and has drawn this with his hand and a pen, the cover art. So that's pretty cool. Excellent work, Lamond. Really stoked to dig into more of this. I noticed there's like, how many? Got a lot of releases here, actually. Wow. I'm stoked for that. Create my fan account. Oh, I can't. I'm on my artist account right now. Anyway, yeah, I got the link. I'll be back to that for sure. First time listener, lifetime fan, lifelong fan. So gonna reset this here. That was nice. It was like a nice, kind of mathy, choppy, all the things I'm into. So we're going to move along. Rose, I see your messenger. I got it. It's in here. For sure it's in here. I'm not sure what the sequence is at the moment. Where are we right now? Buried. Okay. So with the curtains. Okay. Bam, bam, bam. Right. Actually, what was the last one we did? Right. Yeah, Rose, you're coming up. Get ready. But did I get that last thing in there? Yeah, Flynn's Ego. It's in there. Great stuff. Really interesting. But here we go. We're moving along. Got the gain up and ready to go. This is from Rose. And I think, so the project is called Rosahl, and it's from Collections from the Calling. And if you could give us some insight as to what the structure of this sort of breakdown is. Collections from the Calling. Is it stuff from a particular release that will all be assembled at some point? Let me know. I'd love to find out more. It's always very interesting. But here we go. Away from the drug I thought I couldn't live without. Whoa. It's cool. What is happening in the background there? That ambience. It's tasty. And is it on it sounds like it's maybe on a bass, but maybe not. Maybe it's on like a bass 6 or something, but, it's strangely very complete sounding and like done, but there's no instruments. It's so minimal, but it sounds like done. Yeah, cool. That was cool. Excellent work, Rosahl. Would love to know more. Is this collections from the calling? Is that going to be the project name? And I don't know. Yeah, tell us more. Very cool. I'm going to just scooch over to the chat here for a moment because I can't see it. I don't have enough screen real estate. Into one huge release with tracks that fit a particular vibe. Okay. Kazuki Hiratani has the down low on that. Rose, here we go. Collections from the calling is all of my post-rock black gaze stuff put into an album which continually has stuff added to it. I have 3 main projects. The CFTC is one of those. Okay, cool. Sometimes you gotta be in the know to know, but a lot of times that's what makes everything a lot more fun. Begishment, I got your track, by the way. It came up, like I clicked the link there while we were listening to that. I hope it didn't terribly disrupt the stream, but we're going to get to that pretty soon. So this next jam, this comes to us via Chris, Synth Chris, the Chris of synths, and the man with a brutal plan. And I'd like to know, Chris, what's the ETA on new Chris jams? I'd like to hear some soon. I have not actually been hunting music on Bandcamp lately because life has been crazy, but that looks like it's going to change soon. Anyhow, this next jam, bam, we're ready to go. The gain, though, is not reset. Should be on top of that. 7.5, minus 7.5. This is A Moss Born Evil. And in terms of the track, which is the title track, I don't know, maybe, yeah, we're going to go from the title track, not the title track, the opening track. And Chesmus from Washington, USA. And this is the second time that we get into some of this material here. From what I remember in the past, it was a nice mix of kind of very blackened and punk and crusty kind of stuff. It was a hybrid of these sorts of darker, gnarlier forms. But let's see what this is all about. Once again, very, very interesting to me. The rest of you can chime in there. One of the things about this, so this artist, their previous material was not similar, not similar, similar kind of treatment and tonality and whatnot, but like musically explored different, quite a bit different terrain, but it all kind of fits together. What's interesting about it to me, especially, is it's, it has that kind of lo-fi, black metal inspired thing going on, but it's musically really engaging, interesting. There's a lot for me to get into in it, which usually isn't the case with a lot of black metal oriented kind of stuff. Not that that's a complaint, it's just a note. Me, like, I don't know, like just the details of, of how I perceive it, I guess. But yeah, it's cool. It's weird. Like, I like weird, but it's cool and weird in all the right ways. But excellent. Thank you, Chris, for submitting that. And the link is in there to get into and jam out to. We're nearing the end of our run here. We got three more artists to get into. But this is a Carly Rae Jepsen cover. I don't know. Is it Jepsen? I know this. It's a popular artist, I'm pretty sure. But Bagga Schmidt is taking the Schmidt out of this tune, I imagine. Got to get the gain up. Got to have max gain for this one. I'm super stoked to see what happens. Always surprised at how heavy you can make the riffs and it still like hold together totally as a pop tune. That was fun. Crazy. I've heard of this artist, but I don't really know them, but I think I know enough that they're pretty big. I'm not sure. Maybe everybody else knows it more than I do. And I'm kind of being an idiot right now. I'm not sure. It's funny though. Anyhow, I'm going to reset the gain. Got really 1.5 more to go get through. Where are we at here? 7.5. That's the gain setting that we're going for. Oh, was I on the big camera the whole time? If you're wondering, it's that's the artwork, and the link is in the chat. And yes, Blood and Coffee, right? What's up, Jim Basement? Thomas Powell, my brother from a different mother. How are you, man? How is it out on the left coast? I hope all is well. Thomas Powell and I are like the OG Toronto baritoners, and we were first. We blazed that trail, bro. Pretty stoked. Anyhow, we're getting along to these last two, and this is another jam from Kazuki Hiratani. He submitted 2. This is new to me as well. I think I'm correct. And this is coming from the Kazuki Hiratani personal Bandcamp profile with the curtains drawn demo. And let's get right into it. I dig that, Kazuki, a lot. Cool. It's like you're the guy who can just do anything, and it's always awesome. No pressure, by the way, but yeah, that's great, man. Do more. Do way more. The link is in there. And that takes us to the end of today's jams. The only thing left is really, I have an official, I almost finished this. I had it uploaded last week or last month, but it wasn't officially out. So it's officially out. I officially got it out, I think, a week ago, something like that. Instead of listening to 1 minute of the beginning, we'll listen to less than a minute of the end. We'll get the gain up here and just do a quick one, and then we'll hang out in the chat for a little bit and call it a night. But still got some San Pellegrino left, so let's hang out in the chat for a bit and enjoy. But I finally got it up and pretty stoked. I didn't get another track done though, because I was away helping my mom out up in North Ontario, where everything's a lot colder and there's a lot more lakes. But it was cool. It's always cool to hang out with my mom. My mom's the friggin' best in the world. But that's finally up and out. Link is in there. So hanging out in the chat for a little bit. My buddy Artie is going to be coming over. We're going to be hanging out. I got some non-alcoholic beers to do a Friday night hangout. That's where I'm at these days. 50 years old, about to be 51. And non-alcoholic beers is the way it's going these days. But I can still party. I don't need to get lit to party. Anyway, hope everyone enjoyed the evening. That was the most tracks we've ever had for a Bandcamp Friday by far. Let's count them all. And just a notice for all of you who are submitting and looking forward and spreading the word about it all. I'm going to actually drop the the Bandless Discord link in there. Invite people. Copy. Bam. Bam. And if you're not part of the Bandless community, get into it. I also like to thank everybody with me over at Patreon. Both on the Bunn side of things, but also on the Bandless side of things. There's a handful of folks that help out to kind of make this channel, make all of this happen. This channel is not monetized in any way. And that's good because we wouldn't be able to get away with the copyright stuff. Some people's stuff ends up proliferating throughout the musical universe, and a lot of that stuff is copyrighted, and we get copyright strikes and all that kind of stuff, which is fine so long as we're not monetized. Then it's just like legitimately sharing. But anyhow, for the future, if you'd like to participate in this, if you're silent, a listener or a viewer who is silent, not participating in the chat, and you're like, this is cool, I'd like to get involved, the link to the Discord community is in there. It is a link that will expire, so you don't have very long to take advantage of it. But would love to have you there. I, am a pretty busy guy. I'm not there a lot, but I am there sometimes. And when I am there, I really love it. But everybody else there's a lot of characters that participate all the time there, and they're all a good hang and talented bunch. So get involved in the community if you like. If you don't have Discord and you don't want to do that, just keep an eye out for Bandcamp Friday. There's one more this year. It seems like they're going to continue with Bandcamp Fridays indefinitely. I can't say that for sure, but I was talking to people from Bandcamp last night. I was hanging out with them, and that's the vibe that I get, that Bandcamp Fridays are a really important feature in terms of the proliferation of Bandcamp. It's the best advertising they've ever had. They had no idea that it would spread as much as it has as a result of Bandcamp Fridays. So that's pretty cool. Bam, bam, bam. But yeah, if you want to get involved, you can do it through Discord, or you can do it here. Scott@thebun.ca. It's best to send me your tracks closer to Bandcamp Friday, within a couple days of Bandcamp Friday. My life is insane. So it's, the more direct it is coming to me and the more all together it is, the more I can do. I want to do these things. I love doing these things, but if it's easier, it's more kind of, if it's more organized, it's more guaranteed that it's all going to come together and work out and all that kind of stuff. Ed Sweetman, I see you in there. Good to see you, man. Hope you are well. I'm just checking out the chat right now. Al Paul, you totally missed the stream. That's okay. We played your track. We were here in your spirit. But I'm stoked you made it in here. But if you're submitting direct via email, then try and do it around Bandcamp Friday, like a couple days before Bandcamp Friday. If you're in the Bandcamp community, I put out like a call to submissions, usually a couple days or a day before. Once again, I try to keep it kind of close to the day. The best policy is to just always try and finish a track for Bandcamp Friday. That's what I try to do. And even if Bandcamp Friday does not continue in the new year officially, like on the Bandcamp side of things, I will continue to do our own Bandcamp Fridays because I think it's the most awesome thing ever. And Bagger Schmidt will email next time. Yeah, no, I'm not, by the way, I'm not like cutting anyone down for not emailing me or whatever. It's like in the Discords, things happen really fast and you can lose track of the first post really quick. So like you can totally miss it and you'll just see a bunch of people sharing things and you're like, what's going on? I'm going to share something. And because literally like 100 posts earlier was the call to submissions thing. So keep an eye out for that. And email is best because there's a whole bunch of reasons why it's great. Anyway, what's this? My Focusrite console is for some reason launching. Anyhow, amazing round of submissions today. Very similar to last month. Not in music, but like just in quantity and quality. Like I said, more submissions than we've ever seen on a Bandcamp Friday, and excellent quality. And when I say quality, I mean like artistic, creative quality. I want to be really clear that it's not important that you have super polished, professionally produced stuff. If you do, great, but that's not what live stream is about. This live stream is about creativity and an artist community and, the artistic progression of a community and sharing tracks and finishing tracks, getting them out there and all that kind of stuff. So if anyone's kind of like in the wing listening or watching and you're like, oh, I'm not very good or whatever. Not very, like good. It's kind of doesn't mean anything. So don't worry about that stuff. Submit your tracks. If it's like not playable for some reason, which would be, I don't even know if that's possible, but for some reason, let's say hypothetically, it's not even playable, then we won't play it. But don't worry about that stuff. Don't worry about being good. I think the thing to really worry about is being as creative as you possibly can be. That doesn't mean being overly artsy, although I like really artsy stuff, but it doesn't have to be that either. Just like your own challenge of creativity. Try and fulfill that, and everything else will be great. Darlington, I see you in there. How are you? Hope all is well. And what are you saying? Can I send a SoundCloud link for the next stream? No, you cannot. Has to be Bandcamp. Bandcamp Fridays is all about Bandcamp, the Bandcamp community, the Bandcamp ecosystem, the freedom of Bandcamp. We have nothing wrong. Like, we don't have any hate for SoundCloud or YouTube or Spotify or anything like that. I have no hate for anything. I think there's a place and a use for all of those things. Some better than others. Doesn't really matter. But this Bandcamp Friday stream is all about Bandcamp. It has to be a Bandcamp link. And starting a Bandcamp profile is really easy. You can do it yourself. I highly suggest you do it. You can immediately start making money off of your tracks. The key to making money off of your music is to building an audience. And maybe this is, maybe or maybe not, but like maybe this place is a place to start building an audience. It's one thing about, I guess, this community that is building. It's bigger than it's ever been at the moment. It's not gigantic, but it's something. What's amazing about it, compared to when I very first started doing things on my own, is I was just, the vacuum of the internet. I had no connections. I knew nobody. I was a zero, which is fine. Like, I'm not complaining, but it was just a different time and a different experience. And, I always kind of dreamed of having a connection to a bunch of cool people who are doing cool stuff. And actually, you don't even have to be cool or doing cool stuff. If that's too much pressure for some people, cool, like, I don't know, just artists making art. I'm into that. So I'm looking over there because it's where my monitor is, but the camera's here. Apologies. And the chat's here. It's like nowhere near the camera. My technology is terrible. Ed Sweetman's got a second track. That's nice. I liked that first track of yours there, Ed Sweetman. I'm super hyped for more. I think you have a sound. I think you have a thing. Very cool. Very, very cool. Whatchamacallit? Kazuki's saying maybe make a separate channel for the call to submissions. A separate channel in the Discord. I could. I don't know. Like, Kazuki, if you want to be a moderator, maybe you could take care of that. I can make you a moderator, and I don't know if that might be too much to ask. Like, I'm not suggesting that you do the work or whatever. I hope you don't take it that way. But like, if you're interested, maybe, and you'd like to help out with that, that would be cool. And Kazuki's saying he stepped up his game to get his consistency better. Yeah, that's something that I'm attempting to work on as well. Consistency is the most important thing, and it's the hardest for a bunch of different reasons. But I think consistency is the thing directly connected to growth, and growth in every category. So, and that consistency doesn't have to be super frequent, but it should be consistent, and more consistent than once a year. But yeah, I'm 100% with you, Kazuki. Consistency is really important. I can barely talk right now. The San Pellegrino, it's like natural. I don't know. It's like an orange thing. It's so good. Not sponsored. I'm just like, wow, incredible. Kazuki, the bandless community has been a great help for building an audience. I think I didn't think I'd get anywhere, but everyone seems to dig the tracks I put out. So I'm really stoked about that. Yeah, I think it's like an amazing community in terms of, I also think people will be pretty straight with you. Like if something is really off, I think people are not afraid to let you know, but they tend to let you know. From what I've seen, people will share their opinions or share their insights with those kinds of things in a friendly way, in a helpful way. So I think it's like such a positive community. It's awesome. Beer Guy says the second KTWF demo is still pretty crust punk inspired, but it was definitely trying to, definitely trying to get brutal with it. Yeah. Beer Guy, you're whatchamacallit, you're at the genesis of brutal. And anything crusty, punky inspired, I think is like always a benefit, a bonus. I love that stuff. Ed Sweetman saying all bass, no guitar. And that is the way. I did one track this year that was all that. All 4-string bass. All the guitar parts were done with the bass. All the bass was done with the bass. Same bass. And, gassy. And it was, I think, the funnest track I made all year. I think it's the funnest piece of music that I ever made. It was the Wetlands. What it was, I can't even remember the name of it. It was the thing that I did with Monavoth. But yeah, super fun. Synth Chris is saying, I think that separate channel thing is great. Okay. Synth Chris, are you not a moderator on the Bandless thing? If you are a moderator, I don't know. Can you make Kazuki a moderator? And can you guys take care of creating that channel? If you can't, I don't know. Like, I'll make you both moderators and hopefully you can do it. My life is so stacked. Kazuki, I'd love to help out the best I can. If you want to make me a mod, I'd be happy to help. Amazing. Rose, I don't know which tracks you heard of. CFTC, what's your vibes and ideas? Okay, what? There's a lot that's happened here. I'm not keeping track of all of the... Okay, Harvest, what track off of CTFC? I'm not sure which ones. I'm going through it right now. It's not on the screen there, but how are they all connected? Some of them are like Crawl Through, collections from The Calling. But it's not, there are more tracks in there. So the link that I had was a link to one of the tracks. Right. Okay. I'll have to get back to you on that, Rose. I'm far behind on a lot of things. If you have no consistency, Kazuki says, if you have no consistency, it's practically impossible to build an audience, at least from my experience. I would agree. I would say without consistency, it's impossible to really build anything. To build your experience, to build your chops, to build your production abilities, to build your creative fluidity and, momentum, to build your network professionally, as well as, like you say, with audience and whatnot. Consistency seems to be the thing in every aspect of what you do as an artist, probably in life, But I think you're definitely on to the right thing there. Rose, I feel like I'm starting to fall into my own sound. Yeah, 100%. Just keep creating, and it will become even more your sound. The beautiful thing about consistency, about repetitive work, maybe that's not the best way to describe it, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Beer Guy, working on a track currently that I think captures the overall vibe I was originally trying to go for. I have a demo of it with no vocals in the bandless riffs. Yes, I've heard some of those, I think. It's like just one of the, like you've shared a few clips that is just like the clip that you upload direct. It's not like a Bandcamp link or something. I think I know what you're talking about. And yeah, cool stuff. More, do more stuff, Beard Guy. Kazuki, surely Orbiter is going to be on the next official Wetlands release. Oh yeah, for sure. Like I would say it's interesting, like this weird one-off track that I did that is all bass. When I was talking to Lucas, like Lucas from Monovoth and we were talking one day, and he was just joking. He's like, yeah, like do a track and it's just all bass. I'm like, why don't we? He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, why don't we just like, we'll do a split single, and it's just all bass, drums and bass and no other instruments, and see what you can come up with. Make the guitar parts out of bass. Just use your same guitar patches and do it with bass. He's like, whoa, this is a crazy idea. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be super fun. So did it. I was not expecting that the track that I wrote would kind of be my favorite thing. It's like the most fun I've had making a track, and also listening, in terms of listening to my own music. For me personally, it's the most fun thing. So I'm stoked to put it on an official release, and I'm stoked to write more music that way. So yeah, try anything, do everything. RoadBull, if you do the guitar parts with bass, are they guitar parts or bass parts? They sound more like guitar parts. So I don't know. They're bass parts, but they sound a lot more like guitar parts. But it's all good. A conundrum. Yeah, totally. Cathedral Sound, welcome. How are you? A new name in the chat. What are the rules for submission? The rules for submission is that it is a Bandcamp release, preferably something recent. But if we've never played your track and you have stuff that's old, we'll play that too. Basically, if the track is new, or if you are new to the fold, we'd love to hear what you're doing. It does not have to be metal or heavy, although the majority of stuff is kind of heavy. I do mostly heavy stuff, but some of the stuff I do is not heavy. I'm not very well known for doing not heavy stuff. But yeah, it doesn't have to be heavy. It could be like shoegaze. It could be synth pop. It could be like all of those things end up on here at some point. And we love it all. We love music, and we especially love when people kind of go out on a limb with the creativity and try and push ideas further. Whether that be through minimalism or maximalism, does not matter. But definitely share your tracks, get involved in the Bandless community Discord. And if that's not working for you, if Discord's not working for you, I did drop my email link in this chat somewhere. I can drop it in there again. Scott, that's my real name, at thebunn.ca. At thebunn.ca. Did you know that .ca stands for Canada? That's where I'm coming to you live from. Coming to you live from Canada. Terrence and Philip, my next door neighbors. Anyway. L. Paul, it's hard to be consistent when music is a hobby and you have a main job. Well, L. Paul, you're not doing too bad. You're putting out like a ton of stuff. I wouldn't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. I know what you mean. Like, life is very busy. It's very hard to be consistent, but you're doing a great job. If I do the next Wetlands release, on just bass, you'd be stoked for that, Kazuki. It might be, because I'm so stoked on that Orbiter track. Rose is saying the key to getting a bass 6 to play like a bass is to think like a bassist. Yeah, or play a bass like a guitarist, that's fun too. And Sweetman, all bass is what I'm doing with my Norwich project. A few years ago, I said to myself, I will only play instruments that I have built myself. Yeah, that's right. I think I shared it in the last Bandcamp Friday, but Ed builds all of his basses and they're pretty high-end stuff. Really cool. I'd love to share more of that maybe on a future episode. Ed, like if next time you drop a track, maybe also share a link to maybe a photo gallery or something of some of the basses that you've created. He doesn't yet do them for money, like, or maybe you do. I don't know. Do share. Rose, don't think I am using the low string to set down a vibe and outline chords. Yeah. You can do all kinds of cool things. There are no rules in music, thankfully. Kazuki says, Harvest isn't heavy in the heavy sense, but it's heavy when it comes to vibe and atmosphere. Yeah, that's amazing that you picked that up, because that's 100% what I'm going for. I'm trying to get away from metal. I am not a metal guy, and I get pegged for a metal guy all the time, which is fine. I'm not complaining. I have no worries about that. If people think I'm metal, that's fine. But I would like to kind of, deviate tonally from that a little bit more, or in different ways. I don't know, just explore, try different things. But it's cool that you picked that up. Definitely have heaviest foreign song in that regard. Oh, interesting. Although Harbor and Cornucopia are your favorites. Yeah, something about that Harbor tune. It's interesting. I don't really hear it. I get a lot of feedback on Harbor, and the end riff that goes on. It's the only thing that really repeats in that song. And I like it, I don't dislike it, but I find it interesting. People are like, Harbor, that Harbor riff. Even like Nick Nocturnal included that in one of his like heaviest breakdowns or heaviest riffs in G or something like that. And I was like, huh? Like, of all the things in the world, I'm like, it's cool. I guess, like, it's cool. I dig it. Thank you. But I find it interesting. I'm just like, it's a riff. I don't hear the thing. That's an interesting thing about being an artist, is like, you never really pick up on the things that the listeners pick up on, and the listeners are never kind of aligned with the things that you're interested in as the artist. Not that it's like a friction of any kind. That's not what I'm saying, but it's just interesting how the perspectives and the focus and the personal interests can be like so different. And the things as an artist that you think are gonna work, or that you are like, oh, like, I love this so much, I think it'll maybe it will connect with people, or a certain kind of people. It's like, you're always wrong. I've never been right on that stuff. All the stuff that I'm like, this is okay, it's a filler track, it's always the biggest track. It's pretty funny. Ed Sweetman's going to share some images of his bass building on the next Bandcamp Friday, which is cool. Thank you. But Darlington, Pneumatic. I love Pneumatic. The Concentric Pneumatic EP or maxi single. Well, I don't know what you call it when it's 2 songs. Maxi single. I think it's a maxi. Anyway, it's like one of my favorite things I've made for foreigns. And it took a really long time. It was really hard to write those songs. Foreigns in general has been really hard to write, but those were really hard to write. But they don't sound hard though. They sound pretty basic. But I love those tunes. Like, I want to write more tunes like that, but it's really hard to write them. But yeah, Lamond Sutherland says Labor has to be the top Bunn tune over the last month for me. Stoked that you dig Labor. I feel like that's a tune that nobody even knows at all. I've played it before and they're like, oh, new Forenstein. I'm like, no, it's like, it's so old. But so Lamond, I think you might be able to kind of like get inside of this idea. I'm not going to tell you the tune. Maybe you can hear it. Maybe you'll be able to kind of pick it out. It's not exact in any way, but I wrote Labor because of a Mahavishnu New Orchestra tune. And like I love that era of jazz rock fusion. And I think that you have an interest in some of that stuff as well. Maybe not, but I just peg you as being like a Mahavishnu guy. But yeah, I'm curious if you do know that, if you can like be like, oh, I think I know the Mahavishnu tune that motivated that, because they don't sound anything alike, but there's just I think there's a little bit of a vibe that is shared for like a minute, for just a second. But yeah, we've never really talked, Lamond, but we should probably grab a call one day. But yeah, I know you're into the jazz and all that kind of stuff. Mr. X Riffology, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. We're just about to shut her down. I got pals coming over, or one pal, my buddy Artie, the guy who does a lot of the Wetlands. He does all the Wetlands covers, all the digital covers. He's a graphic designer. I love what he does. He's done some other stuff for me. He designed the Foreign's logo, but he's on his way. That's him there. Anyhow, I'm going to shut this stream down. Good night, everyone. And I hope you are well. Thank you. Get ready for next month and have a good weekend. Make tunes.